So welcome back to another episode, and 2016 has been a hell of a year. There has been so many incredible games this year that it's been a little hard to keep up, but it's been a lot of fun trying. And today I'm going to talk about some personal favorites of mine over the entire year that have come out, and this is just a personal list of me. For me, there's so many games. How can a human being play everything? And I played a bit of Overwatch. I played Doom. I played a little bit of Battlefield. I love all of those games as well. I have yet to play The Last Guardian, and Kim is getting me Titanfall 2 for Christmas, so I haven't cracked the seal on that one yet either. And so those are games that are quite high in the list, and I really want to talk about a lot of games that I finished and gone all the way through and stuff like that. I think the first game I will start with is a bit of a sleeper hit in a lot of ways. I didn't know what to expect. I've never played Minecraft in my life, and this game came out, and it's Dragon Quest, and we all know, obviously, I'm a big Dragon Quest fan, so I'm going to embrace a Dragon Quest game, but I was still unsure if it was going to be any good, and that was Dragon Quest Builders, and wow, all I can say is that me and Kim were on the couch until we finished this game. This game was always on, and I really, really appreciated it. I like the whole idea that you are a character living in the world of the aftermath of the Dragon Lord from the first Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior game, and you're the master builder, and you have to build a community and build defenses against the monsters in the land, and it's a crafting game. But it's a fun crafting game. The only thing that's against this game is the camera is very, very annoying at times. I saw Kim screaming when she was playing this game, and there's a few times I had to leave the room. I'm like, man, this is getting really crazy, especially against some boss characters. But this was one that was a big surprise. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, I'm getting all the Dragon Quest games out of the way to begin with. And Dragon Quest 7 was a game that me and Kim both played, and we were blown away. I played it originally on the PlayStation 1 years ago, and the update, the translation, I loved every single thing about this game. I couldn't believe how good the combat was. It was a lot faster. The graphics were stupendous. I still think it's really up there as one of the best RPGs on the 3DS. Bravely Default being the other one, but I don't think you can really go wrong with Dragon Quest VII if you like RPGs on the 3DS. The next game, this really harkens back to my love of old school gaming, 2D gaming, beautifully hand-drawn graphics, and this game, Odin Sphere, is full of them, and this is by Atlas, and this is a remake of the original game that came out years ago, and I never played the original game, so I was like, okay, we'll give this a shot. I love this game, and I will say right off the bat that there is a lot of repetition in the game. There's a lot of repetition. You play as a bunch of different characters, and you will revisit levels over and over and over again. But I liked the music. I liked all the moves every single character had. They were a lot of fun, and I got a lot out of this game, a lot more than I thought I would. I play a lot of games, and sometimes after a couple hours, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. This game definitely was for me. I played it all the way through, and I loved every second of it. And I highly recommend Odin Sphere for any old school 2D, people who love, hand-drawn graphics. You'll love this game. Now, Nintendo came out with a game right at the end of the Wii U life cycle, and none of us saw this one coming. We really didn't. I thought, oh, the Wii U's over. It's pretty much done, and I don't think there's going to be that many games. And then I checked out Paper Mario Color Splash, and I was blown away. We'll get the graphics out of the way. The graphics were beautiful. This is the best looking Paper Mario game I have ever played, and I've seen and played most of them. I tell you that. I just couldn't believe the look of this world, all the things you can do in it. I like the different uses of, paint throughout the land. The only thing that kind of holds this from being a great, great game is the combat. You always have to look down at the screen when you enter combat and do your commands and do all your card maneuvers in there, and that really kind of takes me out of it. I wish I didn't have to look away from the screen. That's the one downside to it, but don't hold it against this game. There's a wonderful game in here. And we return with Nathan Drake into Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. And what have I got to say about this game? I really raced through this game. I really wanted to review it fast, and but I gotta say, I really enjoyed the adventure of it. a lot of it becomes very repetitive, jumping from, cliff to cliff and jumping from ledge to ledge, a little bit of shooting, rinse and repeat, another cinematic. But my God, there's no game that makes you feel like you're in an Indiana Jones adventure like this game. And that's why I've always enjoyed Uncharted. I love the game. The graphics, the world, the characters, the story. This game was top notch and I highly recommend it. Now, a game that was a digital only game, and I know Limited Run has put out a physical copy of the game that's coming out really soon. I was not able to get a copy of it. It sold out too fast. It is one of my favorites of 2016. This was a pure little treasure that I found. And I downloaded it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll play a little bit of it. Finish the game. Couple of sittings. Wonderful stuff. Firewatch. Firewatch. What a simple story that you play as a character with a bit of a troubled past, and you go to this remote location off in the wilderness to look after this outpost. It's all about your relationship with this woman at another outpost, and it's so simple and so basic, but it was so engaging. I mean, me and Kim sat here in this game's room and played it all the way through, and we were just like hanging on everything, going, what's gonna happen? There was so many weird twists. It was like something out of Lost. And I don't like the ending of Lost, but I like the idea of, the mystery and weirdness that's going on in this small little place, and it was really cool. Firewatch was a real surprise, and I think it's a lot cheaper now. I highly recommend it just to try it out. There's not a lot of deep gameplay. It's more about the story. The next game is Gravity Rush, and it's a remake of the original game, and I had never played the original. I had no idea what to think, and I became a huge fan of this franchise. I was glued to my screen. I couldn't believe the cool world they gave me to explore and fly around in and fight monsters in. The whole concept of it, flying in the air and doing combos and doing quests and little puzzles and bringing this item over here in this world. It was so much fun, and the graphics are great, but it's the gameplay that's so good, and it's that it's so original. And I cannot wait till Gravity Rush 2 comes out, which is a game that will be made exclusively for the PlayStation 4, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. Final Fantasy 15 finally came out, and the reviews have come in, and most people are happy. There's a few people that are not happy. There's a lot of people that are happy. I love the game. I think it's really, really cool. I enjoyed it all the way through. There's a whole bunch of DLC stuff now that's coming out for it. I haven't checked any of that out, but to be honest with you, I enjoyed it a lot more than 13. I never really cared for 13 too much, but this game I was glued to all the way through, and I had a really good time with it, and I do still highly recommend it. For a lot more information, I did 2 big videos, my first thoughts and final thoughts on Final Fantasy 15, if you want a lot more detail. Now we go into VR land a little bit, and I have to mention a few games that really, I'm going to use an old terminology, knocked my socks off, and one of them was Batman VR Arkham. This game blew my mind, and it's very short, and I'm frustrated it's so short, but the experience I had, I played every Batman game, and no game brought me more into the Batman universe than that game. It was extraordinary. It was my demo piece for anybody coming over who wanted to see what PlayStation VR could do, and everybody was blown away. Nobody ever said, well, that wasn't very good. Everybody thought it was incredible, and it was. The other game was Rush of Blood Until Dawn. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never played the original game, and I knew this was a shooting game, and I thought, how well are the controls really going to be? And you're on a roller coaster going into a crazy haunted house, and it's terrifying. It's really, really scary. I had so many freak out moments playing it, but I had so much fun, and it's a game that initially I think people were giving it kind of okay reviews until you really played it. That's another demo game that I brought everybody over. I said, try this game, and people were just losing their shit playing this game. It was exciting and terrifying all at once. Another game I want to mention, and I said if this was a full game and it had a whole bunch of different missions and things, it's only like a demo piece, and that's X-Wing VR, Rogue One, the Rogue One story. This game was unbelievable. It would be, if it had something more to it, it would be my game of the year. If it had like pod racing and a whole bunch of other things in it, it would have been my game of the year. The controls, the fun, the music, the atmosphere took me into the Star Wars universe like I've never been in it before. And quite honestly, I was right in it. Going around a Star Destroyer, destroying the gun turrets on it, fighting TIE fighters, chatting with the other X-Wings. It was legendary. And that brings me to one game that really blew me away this year. And I must admit, I never thought I'd ever say this about a Dark Souls game because they kicked my ass so much that they frustrated me in the past. They've actually turned me off in the past. And I had such a hard time with it. Bloodborne brought me back. I got more of an understanding how to play that game, and I'm like, I'm having fun finally. And then when it came to Dark Souls 3, I was right in there. I just knew how to play the game, and I was progressing. And it's so fulfilling when you beat a goddamn killer boss in this game. You feel like $1 million. I can't tell you how great you feel accomplishing any task in this game. It feels so good, and I didn't mind the repetition about doing certain things over and over because you learn. And I would be like, okay, I died that time. I won't go and do that time. I'll try this time. And this really reminds me of a very old school game that you'd play on the NES, that you would, keep playing it repetitively to get better at it, and you eventually did. And that feeling that you get at the end of it is incredible. You just feel like $1 million. I can't say that enough. I don't even have to mention the atmosphere and the graphics alone. Create a great package here. So Dark Souls is so up there. It's one of my favorite games. I played it so much, this year, and it drove me so crazy, but I had such a good time with it. And guys, I gotta ask you, what are some of your favorite games of 2016? There's so many to choose from. These are a few of mine that I really, really enjoyed this year. Please put them down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.